Right, so we have a massive change that came about as part of the Railjack update. It is of course the big change from Flux Energy to WarFrame Energy, and that means that we have a couple of WarFrames that don't use energy at all. For example, Hildryn, who we are here today with in free space with the Shield of Ire. Now, basically the idea that it works is that whilst Hildryn has a gigantic energy pool in the form of her shield pool, unfortunately all battle aviotics cost about 10 times as much shields as they would in energy. For example, Blackout Pulse used to cost 37 energy, now it costs around 375 shields or thereabouts. Shadow Burst used to cost 75 energy, now it costs 750 shields. Fiery Phoenix, not only did it used to cost only 75 energy, but now it costs 750 shields. It also has a gigantic shield drain. So as long as I have shields active, or as long as I have Fiery Phoenix active, my shields are draining left, right, and center. They can't regenerate while they are being drained, which means at some point, this is just going to simply run out. And that is going to be a little bit unfortunate for Hildryn. Of course, I could just stop it, like so, and now my shields will be regenerating rapidly. So that's of course very, very useful. Now keep in mind as well, the shield scaling costs are also a thing. So for example, if I try to spam Shadow Burst, it's going to start costing a lot more. This is even more prevalent if you try to spam something like Seeker Volley, where the cost could end up hitting the 4,000 range after 2 Seeker Volleys. So definitely don't recommend spamming Seeker Volley a lot when you're using Hildryn. But essentially the idea is you have a huge shield cost, but you have an even bigger shield to energy conversion, which kind of means that even a Hildryn with 4,000 shields actually can use her abilities less than a mag with Prime Flow. So you kind of have to figure it out from there. Whether or not you want to use Hildryn for the fact that her quote-unquote energy naturally regenerates, or whether or not you want to stick to someone like Mag, who has a giant energy pool in the first place, and potentially be able to use something like Dispensary, that is entirely up to you. I personally would be sticking with Dispensary, but that's just because obviously I'm a huge Mag main, so naturally of course I'd stick to Mag. But you could make an argument for sticking around with Hildryn instead if you so desire. But once our shields have depleted, all our abilities, or at least Fiery Phoenix, will become inactive, and we can't use our abilities until we have more shields. But our shields will regenerate naturally, so that is of course a nice quality of life thing to have. At that point, you don't need to forge anything. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Are you someone who would rather use Hildryn as your pilot or as your gunner? Let me know in the comments. The big thing is that her shields do regenerate, but again, something like Seeker Volley does end up using way more shields than the actual shield cap itself when you have used it twice in quick succession. I've even tried to actually do a build like this with 4,000 shields just to see if I can actually reach that cap for maybe 3 Seeker Volleys in quick succession. Unfortunately, that is simply not the case. That third Seeker Volley is already going to cost more than your shields. One thing I've also noticed as well when it comes to spamming something like Seeker Volley is that the time it takes for the shield requirements, the shield cost, to drop down is actually quite long for someone like Hildryn. I don't know why. This might actually be the case with Seeker Volley in general, so just keep an eye on that. You really don't want to be spamming your abilities when you're using Hildryn, so just settle down, just chill, and just use your abilities accordingly. Just wait for the shield cost to go down so that you're not burning through all your shields in one foul swoop. One thing to note as well is that whilst Hildryn is able to get over shields, you actually need enemies in your ship. So a potential solution, a potential tactic, is to actually get your ship to get boarded and then find those enemies and use something like Pillage in order to get a lot of overshields. That could also be a good choice. Or alternatively, if you get yourself boarded, you can actually then try and use your enemies to trigger something like Arcane Aegis, which will basically mean that your shield regeneration will skyrocket, although it will hit a cap. So you might be able to use things like Blackout Pulse and Shadow Burst a lot more regularly, but you probably still won't be able to spam something like Seeker Volley. So there's a couple of strategies that you can use when it comes to Hildryn, but either way, hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Railjack action, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.